Hello and welcome to this video lecture on Wi-Fi, that is wireless fidelity. So in this lecture we are about to study the different topics as introduction to Wi-Fi, then the different components used inside the Wi-Fi, the IEEE 802.11 architecture and the advantages and the limitations of the Wi-Fi. So starting with the first slide, that is the Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is the term used as synonym for the wireless LAN, or also it is called as the wireless fidelity. The wireless network uses radio waves just like the cell phones and the television. So in previous lecture we have studied the electromagnetic spectrum. Out of that, the higher wavelength waves, that is radio waves, are used for the Wi-Fi communication. Uses high frequency radio waves rather than wires to communicate between the nodes. Wi-Fi is a generic term that refers to IEEE 802.11 standard. So IEEE have published some standards for the wireless communication. So 802.11 is one of the standard, and that stands for the Wi-Fi or the wireless fidelity. Then Wi-Fi Alliance is the organization. So Wi-Fi Alliance is a global association of companies that promotes WLAN technology and certifies the product if they conform to certain standards of the interoperability. So in order to maintain the standards, the certifications are given to the different Wi-Fi products. Not every 802.11 compliant device is submitted for certification to the Wi-Fi Alliance, sometimes because of the cost associated with the certification process. So certification cost is more, so that's why all the products doesn't get that certificate. Interoperability. Now this organization defines the interoperability for certification. So interoperability means product from different companies will work together, so user don't get locked into a single brand of Wi-Fi product. So user can purchase access point from different company, the Wi-Fi card from the different company, and the different products from the different companies, and they will work together without any problems. So that particular thing is called as the interoperability in Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi Alliance member companies can submit products for the certification, and the Wi-Fi Alliance will certify depending on their quality of the product. Then Wi-Fi technology. Wi-Fi technology is evolving over the period. So it started from 1997 till now. There are many evolutions in the Wi-Fi technology. So some of the evolutions are: first is IEEE 802.11, then 802.11b, 11a, 11g, introduced in 1997, 99, 2000, 2003, and still it is evolving. So evolution in terms of the data transfer, initially it was 2 Mbps, then 11 Mbps, then 54 Mbps, and so on. So Wi-Fi technology is evolving day by day. So if you try to compare this evolution, then you can see the chart of 802.11a, b, and g. So 11b is the lowest price, excellent signal, and it penetrates through most of the walls, so that connectivity can be maintained. 802.11a stands for wireless A, has the features as supports more users per room, so scalability is more, unaffected by interference from 2.4 GHz devices, can coexist with B and G networks, coverage limited to one room only. So these are the specifications of A. Next is wireless G. So it is best value, only 10% premium for 5 times the speed of wireless B. So speed is more in the wireless G, around 54 Mbps. Compatible with wireless B networks and hotspots, excellent signal range, coverage penetrates most of the walls. The next is the evolution A, B, G, N, AC, AD, AF, AH, and still the wireless networks are evolving. So they are evolving with respect to frequency band, bandwidth, modulation scheme, channel architecture, maximum data rate, then range of connectivity, and required transmission power. So in terms of this, the wireless network is still evolving. Next, we will understand the different components that are required for the building up a Wi-Fi network. So the components are access point, hotspot, Wi-Fi cards, and the safeguard. So we will understand these components in detail. So this particular device you might have seen in your organization. So this particular device is called as the access point. So access point is wireless LAN transceiver. So it is like a server for the different clients which are connecting to the server. So it acts as the server, so it provides the internet connectivity to the clients. So base station that can connect one or many wireless devices simultaneously on the internet. Next is the hotspot. So hotspot is nothing but an area in which the wireless network works. So this particular is the access point. It has range up to this. So whatever the devices in that are connecting or that are coming here in this particular region is called as the hotspot region for this wireless network. Next is the Wi-Fi cards. So Wi-Fi cards are installed internally or externally in the end devices like laptop or smartphones. So nowadays the Wi-Fi cards are available internally in the smartphones and the most of the laptops. And one more component for Wi-Fi is a safeguard. So what is safeguard? Safeguard acts like a firewall or antivirus software that protects a network from uninvited users and keeps the information secure. So unauthorized user will not be able to enter into the wireless network because of this safeguard. So safeguard is just a firewall or security mechanism implemented in Wi-Fi. Next we will understand how Wi-Fi works. So Wi-Fi is a hotspot created by installing an access point to the internet connection. So there is central access point. When Wi-Fi enabled devices encounters a hotspot or comes in the range of the access point, the device can then connect to the network wirelessly and automatically. A single access point can support up to 30 users. Nowadays the scaling is increased to 100 of the new devices within a range of 100 to 300 feet. Wi-Fi communication is a two-way radio communication. It can transmit the signal as well as receive the signal. Computer's wireless adapter translates data into a radio signal and transmits it into using an antenna. So like in wired network, the computer's adapter or the network interfacing card converts the signal into analog signal. Here signal is converted into a radio signal in Wi-Fi network. A wireless router receives these signals and decodes it. The router sends the information to the internet using physical wired Ethernet connection. So router is always connected to internet using a wired. So next we will understand the IEEE 802.11 architecture. So this architecture contains the different components as basic service set, extended service set and the station types. So we will understand what is basic service set, extended service set and the access point. So starting with a basic service set, so here two diagrams are shown. In this basic service set is collection of the end devices and the access point. So here the network is shown as a network without an access point. So this particular network which doesn't have an access point is called as the ad hoc network. So every device connects to each other. So this is one of the kind of basic service set. Another kind is network with the access point. So all the devices are connected to a network with the help of this central point called as the access point. So this is infrastructure based and this one is called as the infrastructure less network. So this is basic service set. Now collection of more than one basic service set is called as the extended service set. So here you can see there are 1, 2 and 3 basic service set, and two of the end devices belongs to more than one basic service set also. So this kind of the configuration is called as the extended service set. So extended service set is nothing but collection of the basic service set. And next is the station or node types. So there are three kinds of the node types that we can see. IEEE 802.11 defines three types of stations based on their mobility in a wireless LAN. Node transition mobility station is stationary or move only inside a BSS. So first kind of the station is the node transition, or it can only move inside a single BSS. Second is the stations which can move inside a single BSS as well as in another BSS, but constant to the next BSS is inside the same ESS. ESS means extended service set. So that kind of the mobility between the BSS but inside a single ESS is called as the next mobility. Then the another mobility is from ESS to another ESS. So from one ESS to another ESS, devices can move, but it is not guaranteed that the communication is continuous and continuous during the move. So that kind of the guarantee cannot be given. If the device is moving from one ESS to another ESS, signal may drop and the connectivity may get broken. Next, we will understand the advantages and the limitations of the Wi-Fi. So advantages are long-term cost-saving network. So as compared to a wired, it doesn't require the detailed infrastructure for building up the wireless network. So it only requires the access point, and using access point the wireless network can be built. But wired network requires the access point, Ethernet cards, cables, switches. So that kind of the investment is not required in the wireless network. So it is a cost saving. Then it is a reduced installation time, as only one access point is required to configure. So that's why installation time is very less. The devices in wireless network can move from one location to another location. That is not available in wired network. This scalability is easier because if the access point is selected, it can connect up to 30 to 100 devices without upgrading any hardware or anything. So there is a easier scalability and easy access to the internet in public places. So in public places, you are not required to build a wired network, or you are not required to build infrastructure. You can easily put an access point, configure it, and that will be available to access for the public. Now, like advantages, there are some limitations or disadvantages of wireless network. First is interference, as it is using the radio waves. So there is a lot of interference or the noise in the channels. So the quality of the data or the signal is less. Then degradation in performance. So data rate is limited. So performance is limited. High power consumption for transmitting a signal. The wireless devices requires the high power, and the range of the wireless network is limited. Depending on the access point, the range can be from 30 feet to the 100 feet. So thank you for watching this lecture. So I will be putting one quiz in the comment section. So solve that quiz and comment your doubts or queries in the comment section of the video. Thank you.